Last night, as I lay, hearing the world go by outside my window, I found myself drifting off into an uncharacteristically deep slumber, wherein I had the most peculiar dream, where I felt the unparalleled blackness of death creeping up from inside me, that I saw a Vanta black, inky abyss spreading in the core of my very essence.
Probably means you want to fuck your mom. Sorry, is there more dream? I can interpret more of it if you give me more information. I'm just kind of, I feel like that's where it's going. I'm like reading all the dream signs, and I feel like it's saying you want to fuck. We could. I don't know. Maybe I'm jumping the gun. Keep going. I'm sorry for interrupting.
Oh, you are so jumping the gun.
All right.
You're jumping the gun so hard.
Okay, well,
that I want to start this entire fucking episode all over because you interrupted my bit.
Okay.
To try and be like, no, I'm funnier.
All right. Well, you were taking a long time.
Yeah. No, that was going to be part of the bit. Yes. Sometimes jokes require a setup.
All right, well, let's keep going.
No bit for you. No punchline. That's it. That's all you get now.
Okay, good.
Because you decided that you had to have the punchline.
Right.
Before I could even explain.
Cool. Fine by me.
You get to sit with that punchline. That frankly unfunny punchline.
Fine. We'll just end the bit concluding that you did in fact the dream meant you wanted to fuck your mom, and we'll move on. We don't have to keep going. I'm good.
No.
I thought I could maybe just like jump in real quick, imply that you have like psychosexual issues involving your mother, and then jump out again.
No,
and then you finish your little bit.
No, unfortunately, that is something that does beat the rest of what I was saying into submission.
Right? Yeah, because it's so funny.
More so because it's the what's the I'm looking for. It's the joke equivalent of saying "shut the fuck up."
Right.
Yeah, that's basically what you said.
It is actually. You're right.
Yeah.
Just kind of like just telling someone they want to fuck their mom is just kind of like a. Actually, it's my joke now.
Right.
And the joke is that you want to fuck your mom. Bitch.
Yeah. No, that's what it was.
Fuck your joke, mom fucker.
Well, honestly, no. Like, to be honest, like, part of me was kind of stalling. I want to be real with you.
Okay.
I was leaning into the pacing that stalling required in order to try and create a level of drama that I could then find a way to subvert.
Right.
And frankly, that's a fair subversion of when somebody's talking about a dream, but I hadn't gotten to the content of the dream yet.
Well, I am kind of curious what the content of the dream was.
Okay, so I dreamt that so it was one of those dreams where you wake up and you think you've woken up.
Right.
And I woke up and there was an older woman astride me.
Honestly, it was a race. I was also setting up for a similar thing. Frankly, whatever you said, I was going to be like...
I figured, well, the only way I can now follow this up is to then, subvert the expectation that it wouldn't be a dream.
Right.
Wherein the answer would obviously be, oh, you want to fuck your mom.
Right. Anyway, welcome to the podcast.
This podcast sucks.
Yeah, dude. It's our brand.
Yeah, that's true. Welcome everybody to Life in the World to Come.
Welcome everybody to Life in the World to Come.
So anyway, I had a dream last night.
Right.
I had a dream last night that I died in someone's arms.
Whoa. Are you okay?
Yeah, right. So you can see why there was an added element of hurt when you said you want to fuck your mom.
Yeah, no,
because I had a profound
dream.
I dreamt that I died in someone's arms, and I genuinely did feel the creep of death in my body.
Jesus.
And I felt in my core a weird, like, truly unparalleled in my life experience, blackness. I felt blackness itself coming up inside me, and I felt the arms of this person holding me as my life came to a close. I felt my heart stop. I felt the chill, and I felt the sense of farewell.
Right.
And then I felt my body lifted up by loved ones and carried down a hallway. And I could feel slowly leaving, the last of my essence, leaving my physical form. And then the last thing I felt was these hands of people close to me gently lowering me onto probably like, you know, into like a coffin or something.
Yeah.
You know, and then I got up because I was a robot. It's also like a cyborg.
Was that actually part of the dream
Yeah.
also?
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
It was pretty cool.
I actually kind of love that idea of having a very profound death dream, and then that dream seamlessly, but then he rises from the grave as Robo Will.
No, it wasn't even that.
He's got two guns for arms.
That would be cool.
Right.
But it wasn't even that. It was like this incredibly profound feeling. Like, it was like the last scene of Bicentennial Man, where like I am passing away before my loved one.
Yeah.
And it's like hundreds of years in the future, and I'm a robot.
Right.
and
okay, so the robot was just part of. That's what you think being old is going to look like.
I just think I didn't. I think I forgot I was a robot until I died, and then I went, "Oh, right,
Right, I'm a robot.
I'm not gonna die."
Like Bicentennial Man.
Right.
It's like you had a very profound dream and then just kind of had an errant thought about Bicentennial Man, and then that just kind of wrapped itself into the dream at the last second.
And the fucking ridiculous thing is that, like, this person whose arms I died in, this woman who I should probably text. No, never mind. You don't text someone, I dreamt I died in your arms last night.
Winky face.
Because you
Winky face eggplant.
You have two options from there. If somebody texts you, I dreamt I died in your arms last night, your response is either, okay, I have to consider marrying this person, or, you know, getting a restraining order.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's a big commitment.
Right.
I'm not sure.
One of the two. Either way, there's paperwork involved.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. Yeah. But then this person was grieving because they thought I was dead, and they were also old and dying, and also pregnant with my child.
Nice.
And then
dude.
my dad, who's like younger than me for whatever reason,
Right.
was like, you have to go tell her you're alive. She's going to die of grief and lose your son with it.
You can't even die without like you die and like there's still people that you're emotionally responsible for.
It's right. Fuck that.
I think I understand why you bought a PS5 today.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
How does that connect back to it?
Or you just I feel like you're running out of time to do it.
That's true.
You know?
I do.
It's like you confronted death, and it's like, I think I need a PS5, which is basically, you know, that's why I got one, more or less. You know, I didn't have a dream so much as just like a consistent sense of, like, you know, just encroaching dread.
Right.
But you know, I feel like that did factor into the purchase.
Well, I guess, you know, sometimes you're reminded of the fleeting nature of existence on this plane, and you have to think to yourself, like, yeah, this will end someday, and when it does, there will be a finality and a true story of my life that is told by the trajectory of my experiences. And will I be satisfied if that life doesn't primarily consist of me sitting on the couch pretending to be a robot man.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Like you need to I think that's what it was.
Mm.
Is that it actually didn't have anything to do with the death stuff. It's just that at the end you're a robot man, you're like, this is pretty cool. And so it's like, I think I want to do this in my waking hours.
Yeah. I think. Yeah. I don't know. I'm losing track of the thread here.
Yeah, me too.
I'm losing track of my own thread of conversation here. Because, frankly, I'm distracted by the fact that I had such a haunting dream last night that was still so fantastically goofy.
Right. It was like it's so like that's because if that robot stuff at the end hadn't been a thing, it would have been an incredibly poignant
one of those
thing.
Dreams that changes shit for a while.
Right.
Yeah.
But like it just kind of spoiled it.
Yeah,
At
no.
the end, because it was just like, what do old people look like? Robots? I'm sleeping, so I'm not going to do a second draft.
I remember there being a moment
like,
where the people who were carrying me were like, I feel like he's not as stiff as he should be. Are we sure he's dead? Hey, Will, are you definitely dead? Are you definitely dead? And then I was like, no, I'm a robot. See?
right. And in dream logic, that's perfect.
Right.
It's like, of course, yeah.
And then they go, okay, well, you better tell your wife who you just died in front of because she's dying of grief and also pregnant with your son.
Oh yeah, I guess that's a fun little twist to the dream.
There's a lot.
Like it kind of spoils the poignancy of it.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm not dead. I'm a robot.
And
Turns
also
out I've been
dad.
a robot. I thought I was dead, but I'm actually a robot, and also a father soon.
Well, that's the really funny thing is that like I thought I was dying and therefore experienced death in a very profound way.
Yeah.
And then went, oh right,
I'm just a robot.
I'm just a robot. And I don't have to be dead. So
Right.
I'm not gonna be.
And the best part about dreams is they don't even like consider the like, well, what was that? Like, it's like you have an incredible, profound death experience, and you're like, oh, never mind.
There is no
that didn't happen.
What the fuck just happened to me? It's just like, oh shit, I better take care of the consequences of that.
Right, exactly.
Like, oh, okay, I better let my dying wife, my dying pregnant wife know that I'm alive so that she doesn't die of grief, and therefore, more importantly, apparently, like that was the urgency, lose the fetus.
Right.
My dad was so worried
that
he was like, your baby is going to die.
Right. It's
not about
her.
from the mother's grief.
And also death.
And yeah, I guess death.
Incidentally, death. Like
she was very old.
Right. You're right. Yeah, because she's also.
Well, that's something that, you know how they say like people will die of a broken heart when they like lose a husband at the end of their life because they're like 90,000 years old.
Right.
It was that sort of situation. But also she was still pregnant, which is impressive.
Well, you know, honestly, who knows how that baby was going to turn out?
Well, it's true. He was half robot.
Right.
So,
you know. Like,
yeah.
my dad was in his 40s when he had me, and I came out all wrong. So,
true.
like, there's, like...
You got old cum.
Exactly.
You're made out of old cum.
I'm made out of musty cum, and you don't want that. You want fresh new cum.
You don't want dusty old cum.
No.
No. Oi. I'm gonna stand up. You stood up, and now I'm gonna stand up.
Well,
now you're sitting down. You're sitting on the floor. Okay. So
I'm wearing
anyway,
actual pants for the first time of the year.
It's
and
crazy.
It sucks. I hate it.
you're still wearing flip flops.
I'm still wearing.
You're still wearing November
November
flip-flops.
3rd, I think, and I'm still wearing flip flops.
Yeah. So
You don't want to know because I don't think I have shoes. I might somewhere, but if they are, they're not worth finding.
It's even funnier that you don't know if you have.
I
shoes.
don't know if I have shoes.
Right. It's not that you don't have shoes, which would be silly enough.
But see, like, when I moved into my house, there was like a ton of stuff I just kind of threw into the one big closet that's actually in my apartment.
Right.
And like it's a Jenga tower now.
Right.
Like I can't look for anything without the entire structure collapsing in on itself.
Right.
Like I would have to take everything out of the closet to find anything that's in the closet.
That's rough, man.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna wear flip-flops all year, I think.
Yeah.
You know?
Those are your winter flip flops.
These are my winter flip-flops.
Right.
They're also my summer flip-flops and my spring and fall flip-flops. If anything happens to these flip-flops, I don't leave the house anymore.
Maybe you just walk around barefoot. Work on those
I could
calluses.
do that. I could get back into it.
Yeah.
I think I should. That would be a fun thing for me to do at 30.
Yeah.
Is
In
get back
Plainfield.
Yeah, in 30 in Plainfield, New Jersey, is to just get back into fucking shoeless lifestyle.
Just walking down the asphalt.
Just walking down the asphalt, just like listening to the fucking kids ride by on their motorbikes.
Just broken glass in the
Like
street.
broken glass.
Getting just like
Probably a
lightly
heroin needle
wedged
somewhere.
in.
Yeah,
Just
just
getting
like-
slightly wedged into the calluses, but not actually breaking the skin.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Is like that's fucking Plainfield is like the final boss of being barefoot. It's just like, you know,
Right.
it's like, you know, I'm stepping on like dirty syringes, but I have my defense status so buffed that it doesn't even touch me.
It's the final boss, and it's also the twist villain.
Right.
Because first you have walking on hot coals,
Yeah.
and you think that, oh, I've beat the villain, I've beat
Yeah.
the big boss, and then
But it
no.
turns out Hot Coals is Vizier, Plainfield, New Jersey.
Right, exactly.
It's like turns into like a dragon god that you have to fight.
Exactly. Yeah. It's the twist villain.
Yeah.
Hey, do you wanna like just get into it?
Get
I want to
into
do like a hard hitting, fast paced, streamlined episode of Life in the World to Come.
It's like Friday. I have a little bit over 24 hours to edit this. Let's have this be a fucking.
I just bought a
quick
PS5.
We just bought a PS5 and we want to play with it.
Yeah. So like, you know, it's
Why
time.
did I just open Audible?
I
I
don't know.
just opened up Audible for some reason. I don't know why I did that.
I don't know either.
It's like, man, I want to listen to a book.
Welcome everybody to Life in the World to Come. It's a podcast where we answer your questions about surviving the apocalypse. I am your co-host Will Wood,
And I'm a little guy.
and this is a little guy.
I'm just a little guy. I'm just a sweet little guy. I've
He's-
never done anything wrong in my whole life.
Yeah. I can vouch for that. You're welcome. I got you, man.
Yeah, thanks.
I got you.
Now they don't know about the fucking fraud. My fucking income fraud.
I'm glad you went with fraud.
I was like, yeah.
You could have done it. You could have had a lot of crimes that would have been kind of funny.
There would have been like
But fraud is good.
right. But, you know, because I'm a sweet little guy. You
Right.
know, I would never hurt anyone except for the fucking government.
Oh, it's
I fucking
okay. It's
hate the
tax
government.
fraud.
It's tax fraud.
Okay.
I'm
yeah.
a sweet little guy, but fucking I fuck the system, burn it to the ground.
I think that's great.
I'm a sweet little anarchist.
Okay, but that means I am vouching for you, and it is legitimate, which is still fair.
Yeah.
you know?
Okay. I forget what you were vouching for.
You
before
said
I
you've
got
never
lost
done
in the
anything
day.
wrong in your life.
That's true.
And I said,
and
I'll
I'm
vouch
saying,
for you.
I'm saying, from my perspective, I hadn't.
And I would agree,
You know,
actually.
those fucking pigs had what's coming to them.
No, 100%. Pigs?
I put a fucking pipe bomb in a fucking police precinct.
Yeah, I put a cop in the ground.
Fucking killed a cop, and I haven't done a single bad thing in my life.
See, that one I don't know if I can vouch for you on. But I was ready to defend vague potential
Vague
badness
stuff, right?
and tax fraud too.
Tax fraud too.
Murder starts to push it a bit.
Murder. Well, you know.
Yeah, it starts to push it a bit.
Well, I don't see it as murder.
No, I know you don't.
Okay.
Same way that like a pork farm isn't murder.
Right.
You know.
You know.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because you ate him afterward,
Yeah, I fucking ate that.
which
fucking
makes it
cop,
ethical.
You know.
You ate that cop.
I ate that cop.
And now
And now
his daughter is fatherless.
Yep.
But you
Fucking, and she's better for it. fucking pig dad. Fucking fascist dad. Okay, our first question.
Yeah, I'm not going to agree with that on a public platform.
Yeah, no, I don't. I haven't. Please is clear. I haven't killed any cops. I've never killed a cop in my whole life.
Imagine if like
I'm
that.
winking right
this,
now.
This gets you investigated.
Yeah, I actually just. The thing is, like, I don't think there isn't any one episode of this podcast that I think would get me on an FBI list, but I think the podcast as a collection.
Yeah.
Like you could probably create an episode, like a full episode, like a short episode, a 45-minute episode that's just like a supercut of everything I've ever said on this podcast that would get me on a list.
Yeah.
You know?
I think so. Yeah.
You could get like you could get like content.
I have a feeling that getting on a list is very easy.
It probably is.
I feel like you
do
just
it
have
right
to
now.
say,
Let's try.
I'm Jewish.
Right.
There we go.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'm on a list for that.
Yep.
Yeah. They've got AIs crawling podcasts looking for Jews.
Looking for Jews, just in case.
Well, because they know that like a lot of podcasts are Jews.
Yeah, and they just
I don't know. I feel like I could be making that up, but I feel like podcasts are likely disproportionately Jewish.
You know, I don't have any data here, but it doesn't sound wrong.
No, it doesn't.
You know,
it really
like,
doesn't.
It doesn't. I could believe it.
Yeah, no,
You know?
I believe it, actually. I don't
Right.
care whether or not there's absolutely no evidence to back it up. I've decided it's true.
What does this say? That, like, I'm just like, I imagine someone with like headphones on talking into a microphone, and it does feel like a Jewish thing to do.
It is a Jewish thing to do.
It's like, I don't know why. It just kind of reads Jewish.
The first time I listened to My Brother and Me, I didn't know what any of them looked like. Every single one of them, in my mind, had dark curly hair and brown eyes.
Yeah.
All of them. None of them do.
None of them do. No, they're
Nope.
like they're very Christian looking boys.
They're so waspy.
They're so waspy, yeah.
They are waspier than my front porch in August. So, yeah. So who the fuck knows?
Let's get into questions.
Yeah, let's get into some
It's
questions.
about time to get into questions.
All right.
Hi. I was wondering, will there still be geese in the world to come? They've turned my campus into a minefield, bitten me, chased me, blocked my entrance to my house, and have put a strain on my relationship because my partner and I's opposing opinions of them. So I'd like to know if I still have to put up with these. If I'll still have to put up with these horrid hellspawn.
Well, here's the interesting thing: is it sounds to me like your situation right now is a personal one.
Right.
It sounds like you've done something wrong.
Exactly.
Geese are generally fairly peaceful creatures.
But they know how to hold a grudge.
Yes, very much so. They have those.
Honestly, at this point, you just should be happy that they're not organizing.
Well, that's the thing that I feel like I'm seeing here is like, no, they haven't necessarily organized against this listener yet, but I think that there's a chance that they might want to move.
Right.
West.
Right.
Go westward, because it's not north or south, and geese can only go north and south.
Right, exactly. You want to just like move as far west as possible.
Just a strafe from geese.
Right.
You know?
Exactly. Just like honestly, just kind of purchase a barge and just kind of get as far into the middle of the Pacific Ocean as possible.
Go
and
out
hope
to
that these
sea.
geese don't hook up with any seagulls.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, or start communicating with any like
Maybe
it depends on what you did.
go live on a barge in the middle of the ocean and try to get the seagulls on your side.
That's
You know?
honestly I think your best bet,
I think so.
because I don't know what you did to piss geese off.
It's got to be something.
But if you've had more than one encounter with more than one goose that has been negative for you,
it sounds like
then
they're talking, yeah.
odds are they're talking. Yeah. And whether or not, I don't know if they're organizing, but they're talking.
They're talking.
And as time goes on and the apocalypse grows nearer and nearer, you will find geese become more and more talkative with one another until eventually, yes, they do organize. And so you're in a bad spot. You're in a really bad spot because they're talking. And if they're talking about you now, that means they're going to have a file on you in a few months.
Yeah, exactly. They're taking notes.
Absolutely they are. There's a reason why I know so much about this and why I've thought so much about this, because I myself have run afoul of a fowl.
Is that true?
Yes.
I feel like look, I don't know what this says, but like I feel like if you were to tell me genuinely that you had been once attacked by a goose, I'd be like, yeah. I'd be like, yeah, that seems right.
I have attacked by a goose vibes.
Yeah, I don't know what that means, and I'm sorry.
Honestly, I honestly I think it's you're not wrong. I think I do have those, and I don't know.
You know, I have a theory, and it's not gonna make you like me any better.
Okay,
But it's like I feel like I feel like you're kind of like, I feel like if I'm a goose, right? And I'm a goose, I'm dumb because I got a bird brain. I look at you specifically, and I'm like, that could be a goose. like it's like that might be a goose, and I think you might be trying to get in on my territory. I gotta show this fucking other goose what's what. And I'm like, the fucking humans are their own thing. I'm not gonna let a goose fuck with me.
You want to know something fucked up?
Yeah,
is that like this is like this is the second time in this episode, and like the third or fourth time today,
Right.
that I've brought this up as a potential line of humor. And I don't like doing it as much as I do, but I also kind of do. It's just part of my instinct. But like, yeah, I have attacked by a goose vibe for the same reason I have had an inhaler as a kid vibe, for the same reason I have allergy vibe.
It's
a Jewish thing.
Since I'm just being anti-Semitic.
It's a Jewish thing.
I mean, look,
I know this sounds like bullshit, but it's a Jew thing. And I think that Jewish people all have attacked by a goose vibe. Have you ever watched the Hasids walk around on the Sabbath? They all look like they're about to get attacked by a goose.
They do.
Yeah.
I felt bad as soon as I said I do. I feel like I shouldn't agree.
But you're
with
not
you.
wrong. But it's true. I feel like Jews are disproportionately podcasters and attacked by geese. But anyway, yeah. What was I saying? Oh yeah. To the person who asked the question, not to pry,
Right.
but I would want to know what your ethnic background is, or religious leanings, or if you're a member of a group that's kind of both.
Right. Just because me and Will have an interesting theory about how geese are. We're trying to get some more data.
I think that
trying to increase the sample size.
Well, here's the thing about geese, right? This is something that we know about, and it's something that anti-Semites do.
Right.
Goose stepping.
That's an excellent. Where do you think those motherfuckers learned it from?
Think about it. So anyway, like I think that here's really the answer to your question. Do you have to worry about geese? That depends. Are you a fellow member of the tribe? If so, go out to sea, befriend the gulls. Because that's where all the Jews are going to go in the world to come.
Exactly.
We're all going to go out to sea and team up with the seagulls.
And I'm not going to be allowed on that boat, and that makes me very sad.
You know what? Fucking too bad.
You
all right,
know?
we need a place.
All right. Well, maybe I could just show him my penis and lie.
That's,
you know what I mean?
Mm.
I'm circed up, like, I'm fucking
circed up.
Yeah, man. Yeah, dude.
Oh my God.
I got curly hair,
Yeah, no.
I could be one of those really white ones. Like
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's nothing about you that screams not Jewish.
Right, exactly.
You know. So you might get away with it.
I could.
You might.
Let's move on.
I think we got some great content
We
here.
got some great content.
And I have to pee so badly.
What do you say we get into another question?
Sure. What's the question? Do you have one lined up?
I have a question lined up.
Excellent, man. Let's go for it.
Hiya.
Hiya.
I have very small hands.
Okay.
It's hard to play guitar, it's hard to play violin, and it's hard to carry a lot of things at once. I can, however, fit my hand all the way to the bottom of a Pringles can. It's pretty small.
Yeah.
Those are actually very small hands.
Wow.
Dainty little things. Will my small hands benefit me in any way in the world to come?
Oh, absolutely.
There's going to be so much gold at the bottom of Pringles cans. People are going to start hiding gold in the Pringles cans, but just the bottom, and reinforcing the rest with titanium.
Well, that's the thing that's going to be
Punched in
happening is that a lot of what are currently Pringles factories, the radiation is going to affect the process of turning potato into Pringle into one that is actually history's first effective alchemy.
Right.
Potatoes will become gold.
You're right.
And then turned into Pringles. And if you find Pringle cans in the world to come, yeah, they'll be reinforced with titanium. Because the creators of Pringles will be like, oh no, we've got all this gold and all these cans. We gotta make them stronger so people don't take them.
And you can open them up, and you'll get the first couple.
Right.
You can get 4 or 5 gold chips, but then if you don't have these tiny little dainty baby fingers, you won't be able to get all the way in.
All right, and you might be thinking to yourself wait, why don't I just dump out the container?
They're too heavy. You can't pick them up.
Yeah, you can't
Thor's
pick up the
hammer,
container.
They're just on the ground all the time.
Right. Exactly.
They're where they were left.
Right. You can't just pick up a container of Pringles.
No.
In the world to come. Well, I don't just knock it over and hope it spills out. No, you can't do that either. because they're also welded to the ground.
They're also welded to the ground.
Yeah.
They're straight out. They kind of grow out of the ground like stalks. Or something.
Literally, they grow out of the
They
ground.
literally grow out of the ground.
Pringles cans will be growing out of the ground
and you need those
and reinforced in
tiny little
titanium full of
itty-bitty
gold.
baby hands
Yeah.
to just kind of get in there and get all the gold out.
Yeah, that's why.
Is that it?
I don't know. That's I was weird.
Dude, is there any other reason you want to have itty-bitty little hands in the world to come?
To make your partner's dick look bigger.
Oh, that's
very
that's
erotic.
Excellent. Or maybe your own, you know?
Yeah.
I would love that. If I had tiny little baby hands that I could just hold my dick and I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, dude.
You could take great dick pics.
I could take incredible dick pictures.
Yeah. Yeah, really catfish people with the size
And then
of
they're
your
like, "Can I
hands.
see your balls?" And I'm like, "No!"
No, because they would think that you have huge balls.
That's true.
You know, as long as you had your hand there for scale.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And for the record, my dick is 3 inches long, but my hands are so little. they're so tiny. They're so itty bitty.
I don't like that. That's the direction I went with this bit, though. I have to
Yeah.
say, let's steer it away from like weird
Okay,
sexual
we
shit.
could take it away from there.
Let's go with you can reach into Pringles cans.
It's mostly just holes and stuff.
Yeah.
If you gotta get into a hole, it's good to have little hands.
Surgery. You're not going to have a
That's
lot of like
true.
scalpels and little pliers and little whatever tools that people use for surgery. We're mostly going to have, if you need to do surgery, just people with small hands, like
Exactly.
pulling stuff apart very
Just
delicately.
like little, like atom by atom.
Right.
Just kind of like,
Exactly. If your hands are really
if
small.
your hands are small enough that they are essentially a knife, you
That-
know, that's like.
If you're
That's what
strong
a knife
enough.
is. It's just like it's a thin enough thing that can get between the atoms.
Right, exactly.
I think.
Well, I don't know about
That's how-
between the atoms.
I think that is actually what a knife is. It's just like the edge is so fine that it can like slip between.
I don't think it's slipping between atoms.
Real quick, Google how knife work.
I think that I don't need to. I think it's just
how does sharp?
No, but you're saying it gets between atoms. It definitely doesn't.
between atoms. But
No,
it's like
it
it's
just
close.
breaks things.
But like how?
It's just by breaking it. By
being
busting
so,
it.
But like why? But no, it's sharp. You don't need to apply a lot of force with something that's very
Right,
sharp.
because it's very small, and so
Right,
it
but, like, what
punctures
is it-
things easily.
But why?
It's got nothing to do with atoms.
Hold on. How does cutting work?
I'm answering you right now.
I
It's a
don't know.
small surface area, and so it breaks through things. It would need to be subatomically sharp in order to cut between atoms.
I don't think it actually cuts between atoms.
No, it definitely. That's all I'm saying is that it definitely doesn't do that.
How does a knife work?
by being sharp and breaking things.
The blade is larger.
I'm gonna
compared
get
to the
another
fine
Mountain
edge.
Dew.
The conjugation of applied force to the small edge area increases the pressure exerted by the edge. Okay, the high pressure. Let the blade go through materials by breaking the bonds between molecules, crystals, fibers, etc. So not atoms, but molecules.
That's a very different thing.
Barely.
No, it's extremely different.
Molecules is just a bunch of.
cut between atoms, you turn chemicals into different chemicals.
That's true,
Yeah.
but you can do molecules and they're the same thing. Don't act like you're smarter than me.
I'm not
You're
you're
like-
this is an extremely incorrect thing you said.
No, it's a slightly incorrect. There's a difference between molecules and atoms.
That is not slight.
That's slight.
That is not.
They're
slight.
both little things.
No, because
They're classified in the same drawer in my brain.
Knife is capable of altering chemical structures.
I mean, kinda.
I will fuck you up.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
Did you want one?
I still got mine. I think I was right enough. Look, the point is that you make your hand super tiny.
I'm
You'll
sorry
be
I
able to
shouted.
get in between molecules. That's the point.
Yes, that is true.
You know?
Yes.
And maybe even atoms if you go small enough.
Fine.
You get really fucking small.
If you
know
got
what I
really
mean?
small
You
hands.
get so small.
But like if your hands are that small, I doubt you'll even know you have them.
Right.
You'll be like, I just have very pointy stumps.
It's like, but you're wrong. Actually, you don't even know.
Right.
You have no idea. You have to get like like a fucking quantum microscope.
There's a
There's a tiny little gray hand. Just like
that's something that's going to happen to a lot of people is that
Yeah.
they will have hands that are smaller than the cells that their body is made up of,
right.
and
Doesn't
they
make
will be
sense.
covered in hands.
Yeah.
in tiny microscopic hands. You'll see people just gliding across the ground, and you'll think, how is he doing that? And the answer will be tiny microscopic hands working like cilia, just shuffling their body along.
Some people's hands are going to be so small that it creates a singularity, and they just have black holes for hands.
That's
it's like where it's just like
Yeah.
because you have it's like it's because you said it yourself. The hand is smaller than the cells in your body, which implies that matter is compressed to like such like a tiny space,
right.
that it creates a singularity. It collapses in on itself.
Right. Yeah. No, of course.
You know, it sucks in everything around. Your whole body is spaghettified.
Yeah.
Some people are just gonna kind of snap out of existence out of nowhere
because their hands
and
are
you
too
don't
small.
know why, but it's actually because their hands are so small. Like,
yeah. And you're also going to see people who are spaghetti.
yeah.
Spaghetti people who slurp stuff up with their
And
hands.
that's an entirely different thing.
No, it's
It's
totally
not,
unrelated.
There's people who are spaghettified in like the physics sense of the word, and then there are people who get turned to spaghetti.
That's a different thing.
And that's just a whole different conversation that we could have.
I want to talk about the spaghetti people because they also have small hands because they are spaghetti.
Right, exactly. They don't have any. Well, they're small hands in that they don't have any hands because it's spaghetti.
Right.
Because they're a big plate of spaghetti.
Right. There's going to be people.
It's just you walk into a town and there's just like it's an empty ghost town, right? There's just no one in it, and you walk into a house and like you keep noticing that all the houses you enter have dinner tables with like fully set out spaghetti dinners at all of these dinner tables.
Still steaming and
Still
covered in
steaming.
fresh sauce.
And you have no idea. You don't even know those fucking
Those are
spaghettis have
people.
full lives and thoughts.
Right. Yeah.
They have a whole internal thing happening.
Yeah, I don't want anybody to get confused and think what I've been talking about is people who are like made out of spaghetti.
No.
No, I mean that there will be people who just are spaghetti.
A delicious. They're just a family of people. who
Not
are
the noodle, the dish.
dish. Yeah,
We're going to be spaghetti and meatballs.
They're going to be a delicious pasta dinner. Yeah,
and you're not going to
maybe
be able
with a little vodka sauce.
and you're going to be a cannibal and not even know
They won't
it
even know.
because that's a person.
They won't know either. They don't got eyes or ears.
No, they're not. Yeah, they're spaghetti.
Yeah, right.
They're not going to be able to tell.
They're just kind of like humming at the same frequency of the universe, living a perfect enlightened existence, and then they just kind of snuff out.
Yep.
And you've taken something beautiful from the world.
Rascally Clown says, "Hey, Chris and Wiz, what type of milk will mammals secrete in the world to come, and can I drink it? I'm feeling crazy, Igor."
Well, look, to answer your second question, the answer is always yes. You can drink anything that's drinkable.
Yeah, no, if it's liquid, you can drink it.
It's liquid, you can drink it.
Yeah, especially in the world to come.
and honestly, and like you shouldn't. Honestly, I feel like that's as much as you should be worrying about.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
like if you get hung up on questions like, is this going to poison me? Then you'll never drink anything.
Right, you'll die of thirst.
Right.
Because the answer is almost always
It's
yes.
Gonna be poison. Yeah. So
And
just
on
you
the
kinda have
rare
to run that risk every time you drink something, and that's just part of the game.
It's a high risk,
Right.
and on the rare occasion it's not poisoned, you're not even going to notice.
You're not going to notice it. It's not going to. And honestly, you're going to be so used to the poison that it's not going to taste as good.
Right.
You know.
So like you're going to be like, this water tastes safe.
It tastes flat. Like
That's not spicy.
I was about to say.
Why isn't this
It's like,
water
why
spicy
this
at
water
all?
isn't spicy enough.
This water isn't spicy at all. Who made this?
I feel like this water is lacking in umami. Like it's.
Yeah, no, you're gonna be so used to drinking irradiated blood,
Yeah.
and irradiated mud, and irradiated piss, and irradiated hot sauce.
That irradiated milk is just kind of like, you know.
Yeah.
It's like what why are we even getting worked up about this?
Right, exactly. So like, you know, your answer is like, yeah, no, you can drink it, whatever it is. And will there be different types of milk than there are now? Of course.
Oh yeah.
Of course.
Hot-blooded, cold-blooded. There's fucking lizards are going to be lactating like crazy. It's
Lizards are going to be
wild.
Just spewing
Like
milk
more
all over
than
the place.
us. Like
It's actually going to be
most
kind of
the
gross.
time.
lizards are just going to be kind of generally wet with milk.
Lizards tend to leave kind of just milky swamps in their wake.
Yeah.
You know?
They're kind of just dripping.
They're kind of just dripping at all time.
Yeah, lizards are going to be just dripping
If you like
milk.
if you like step on the ground and it squishes and a bunch of white stuff comes up, you'll be like lizards about. You know? It's just because the ground will be sodden with their fucking milk.
You know, if you're ever like, you know, trying to like find your way through the woods,
Yeah.
or trying to find like, you know, where the lizards have been,
Right.
you know, you just you know, get down on your knees, you kiss the ground, and if you have a milk mustache, when you come up, it's like
then you run. You fucking
right,
run.
exactly.
Turn around and get out of there as fast as you can.
Stay away from the milky forest.
Yeah, a milk mustache is a sign of impending death.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you're in the forest with your friend. You both like dip down to like drink from a stream. He comes up with a milk mustache. I mean, honestly, the responsible thing to do is shoot him in the head right there.
Right.
You know,
It's your best
like,
bet.
because he's gonna be ripped apart by lizards.
Right.
By
Because
pregnant lizards. Or honestly, maybe even not pregnant. I think they just kind of do it.
No, they just do
It
it.
just kind of happens.
yeah, and like you don't want to get lizard milk on you.
No.
Because it's like one of the few poisons that is actually going to be a problem for you.
It's so caustic.
It'll turn you into a lizard.
It'll turn you. Yeah.
That's how lizards are born in the world to come.
Right. Yeah. No, they don't have sex.
No,
it's
they don't
more of
lay
a
eggs.
Vampire thing.
Yeah, they by
just kind of.
the way the way lizards reproduce in the world to come is by tricking you into drinking their milk,
Right.
and that
like-
makes you turn into a lizard. So stay away from milky rivers.
Right.
That would be the one thing that you don't want to drink is lizard milk.
Yeah.
That'll be the one kind of milk you don't want to drink. Unless you want to be a lizard, which you might.
You might be a lizard. There's a lot of upsides to being a lizard.
But there's also
You're
a lot
like
of
a little
downsides.
guy. You're like a lizard guy.
Yeah.
And that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's true.
You're
and,
like a little guy with scales and stuff.
and that's something that I've always kind of wanted a little bit.
Yeah, man. You know, me too.
You know? It's like just like a cool look.
This is a cool look. I got big teeth.
You got a long tongue.
Got a long tongue.
You can crawl up walls.
You do all kinds of stuff with that big tongue.
Eat bugs. Nobody judges you.
You eat all the bugs you want, dude.
Finally
With your
people.
big tongue.
Yeah. All I have to settle for like crabs.
Right,
I can
yeah.
eat crabs and
Crabs
lobsters and shrimp.
and stuff. Yeah.
Those are like water bugs, but I'm not allowed to eat regular bugs.
No, every time you eat bugs, you have to do it alone in the dark when no one's looking.
Yeah, and I can't
You know?
catch them with my tongue without people being like, "What the fuck, dude?"
No, you have to fucking wait silently in the dark for
Mhm.
a fly to land on the fucking rotting peaches that you left out.
I use that
And
as
then,
a
you
trap.
just, and then you just leap onto it mouth first.
It's a trap.
You,
I set up traps.
honestly, most of what you're getting is rotten peach, but there's a little bit of fly in there too.
That's worth it to me.
It's worth it to you. You said it to me. You've said that to me. I said that's fucking crazy that you do that. And you looked me in the eyes and you said it's worth it to me.
Yeah, I mean, you haven't tried it. You know, maybe if you had, you wouldn't knock it. You know?
Well, you know, I think I could maybe be convinced.
I like to
You
go
know?
outside, turn over rocks, and eat grubs.
That sounds honestly, that kind of sounds like a fun afternoon.
It is.
You know,
It's almost like a hobby, but it's also like how I eat.
is it weird that I'm kind of not kidding? It's like the only thing that is making me not think that this would be a fun thing to do is the fact that bugs are gross to eat.
Right.
Like that's it.
Well,
if bugs are delicious, I think like spending a day looking under rocks and just kind of eating grubs would be a great day. It sounds
Yeah.
relaxing.
I mean,
You're
turning
out in
over rocks
nature,
and
you're hiking around,
looking
get
for
little
critters.
snacks.
Yeah.
Crunchy
Yeah,
little
what
snacks.
the fuck? It's such a shame that you can't
I mean,
like
you
find
can.
little snacks.
You can eat. I mean, like you can eat bugs. In many cases, actually, bugs are pretty good for you.
And that's
They're
what I've heard.
They
Yeah.
got like a lot of protein, given how small they are.
But they're gross.
You could. I feel like it's just a matter of eating enough of them that you stop thinking
I get
they're
used to
gross.
it. Yeah. But the milk that animals will secrete.
Yeah.
Piss. Cows are gonna pee out their udders.
They're gonna pee.
Don't drink cow milk.
Until it's a little trick. They're gonna try and play. They switched it up while we weren't looking.
Just to fuck with us.
Just fuck with us.
Just kind of as revenge.
One day a cow was like, hey, you know what would be fucking hilarious, dude? This guy comes out here every day stealing my shit. I'm gonna fucking get one over on him.
What if I
once.
made? I'm gonna give him pee
I'm
this
gonna
time.
piss out this thing. I could do it the whole time. Just didn't tell anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
But also you can drink pee, so it doesn't matter. Hey, the battery of my mouse is low again.
I get so angry thinking about your mouse's battery.
The computer mouse that I have,
yeah.
the plug to plug it in to charge the battery is on the bottom.
It's on the bottom, guys.
It's on the
fucking bottom of the mouse. Just fucking burn Apple to the ground at this point.
It's so
I still
funny.
have a Mac. My next computer will probably be a Mac, but like it's Stockholm syndrome. I need someone to destroy this company so that I don't have to deal with them anymore. It sucks because like you don't want to like idolize rich dead guys because they're usually terrible.
Yeah.
But God, they're so directionless without Steve Jobs. They're just floundering because they're trying to like act like he's still there and he's not. And his ghost is so loud. Like,
well, because they're trying to simulate his thing of like doing stuff that seems like it would be a bad idea but actually works great.
Right. But they're not smart.
Right.
So it's just a bad idea.
Right. So they're just like,
well, like, what if we did a bad idea? Ooh.
Yeah, bucking the system, like
right,
Steve used to do.
Exactly, yeah. What if it doesn't work good and everyone's like, oh.
That's thinking different.
Right. What if it's very inconvenient?
What if we made something that doesn't work at all?
Yeah.
On a base level, does not function. Huh? I can't use my computer while the mouse is charging. Just give me a battery thing. Just make it battery powered. What the fuck is wrong with batteries?
What is it?
Also, it doesn't need to be wireless.
It doesn't. It truly doesn't.
Nothing does.
Bring back buttons, bring back wires.
Nothing needs to be wireless. Why? What does that do?
Video game controllers, maybe. I set
Okay,
them pretty
that's
far
fine.
away from my TV.
Fine.
But mouses, no. Keyboards, no. They're right next to the thing that they're plugged into. Like,
maybe headphones can be wireless, but they don't
honestly,
need to
they don't
be.
need to be.
No.
You know?
No. If I want to like walk to another room while my phone is like playing music, I can bring my phone with me.
Yeah.
I don't need to have wireless headphones. And frankly, if I walk far enough away from the device that's playing the music where I need like I could either bring the device with me or I could have a longer wire.
This is
generally speaking, the Bluetooth stops working after being pretty far away.
This is the weird thing that like Apple seems to be under the assumption that like when a thing runs out of battery and needs to be charged, like you stop what you're doing, plug it in, and then like sit in a hard chair in a cold room while you wait for it to charge.
And just stare.
Just stare at the fucking wall.
Yeah.
You know? Like the idea that someone want to charge something and use it is so alien to them for some reason.
I just realized I gotta plug my fucking mouse in.
Yeah, because like, what if we need to stop the podcast?
Yeah.
What if we need to do literally anything?
Look, I wish that people could see what's happening right now.
So dumb
the
looking.
mouse is leaning on its side with the plug going directly upward into the bottom. It's not even like it's like angled.
Right.
It's straight up like...
Yeah, how are
like,
you?
I can't.
What do you do? How are you supposed to leave it?
You don't do anything.
Like what? But like not even. How are you not supposed? Are you supposed to do nothing? How are you supposed to? How is that thing supposed to sit while you charge it?
On its side,
I
like
guess.
slightly on its side,
Upside down, maybe?
leaning on the stiff part of the dongle.
You know, so that it just slowly bends over time and
Yes,
frays.
correct.
So that you have to buy a new one in like a year and a half.
Yeah. And I looked up. I looked it up, and it was like people were like, "Well, you know, you don't have to charge it very often." Okay.
That doesn't. But just put the charger somewhere else.
Yeah.
That's such. God, that makes me even madder. Why does that make me even madder?
Right. That they have like
'cause
this like they have the audacity to be like, "Well, you don't actually have to charge it very often at all, so it's still convenient."
And I want to just like throttle him by the collar and say, "You're asleep."
Yeah.
Like fucking.
So detached from reality on a basic level, because like like the only possible explanation I can think of as to why they would do that is if it was like astronomically less expensive for them to put the charging port on the bottom.
Right.
But even then, the answer is fix that.
Right. It's such a bad... Like, there's no reason.
I don't have a mouse.
You don't have one right now.
My computer is broken. I don't have a computer right now. Just looking at the mouse. So leaning fucking at like a 45-degree angle against the stiff part of the dongle. Like, and I don't know how charged it is.
Yeah, there's
no indicator.
There's no indicator.
No.
There's no way to know. It'll just kind of stop working if it's not charged enough.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Raylan Rose, Sick Pig, says, crisscross and willy-nilly, my neighbor cut down their apple trees recently, and I've been mourning them. Will there be new trees in the apocalypse? Please, Raylan. Oh, yeah.
You have not seen the last of those apple trees.
They're going to come back.
They're
Zombie
rise
trees.
from the grave.
Looking for
take
vengeance.
Their sick revenge on your neighbor.
They're going to have fucking knives and guns.
But then they're kind of going to back from the dead, and they're going to come to your neighbor's house to fucking kick his ass. And they're going to find out that he died in the blast.
Right.
And it's going to be this very sad kind of poignant moment for the trees. It's like,
Right.
God, what am I without vengeance?
Right.
You know?
They're going to have an identity
What is there
crisis.
left for me to live for now?
Right. And then they're going to kill themselves.
Then they're going to kill themselves. And then they're going to rise from the grave. They're going to rise from the grave and try to take revenge on themselves. But then they're like, but wait. Like, what is this cycle of violence? Right. It's like, what is it? Like, do I need to learn self-acceptance? You know?
And then they kill themselves in the midst of this crisis.
In the crisis, because it's too confusing.
And also because they felt like they needed to get revenge on themselves.
Yeah.
And then they're going to rise from the dead again.
Yeah.
And it's going to continue like that.
Keep going. Yeah, it's like the first time it's about revenge against the person who killed them, and then it's just this weird kind of confusing like depressed cycle of just killing yourself and rising from the grave and kind of having to reckon with that self-hatred.
And that's what's going to happen to your neighbor's trees.
Yeah.
And they're just going to keep dying and coming back and dying and coming back. It's going to be weird. It's going to be a weird time in your neighbor's yard.
It's going to be a weird time to be your neighbor's yard.
Yeah. And you're going to want to move. There's going to be a lot of like gunfire.
A lot of like
and trees that are zombies.
Yeah. It's going to be novel like the first 2 times, but it's just going to get boring.
Right.
It's just you're watching these trees play out the same little drama every day.
Every single day.
Every single day there's this whole thing they do.
Yeah, no, this is a daily thing.
Right. And sometimes they cover new ground, but mostly they're just retreading the same stuff.
And you have to like hear them talk about it and shit, and it gets you down.
It's really compelling for like the first couple days.
Right.
You know, there's this whole story about like revenge and like, oh wow, they're really going through a lot of character development happening here, but then it just kind of levels out.
Yeah.
And nothing really happens.
And eventually it just kind of becomes like white noise to you. It's just like, oh my
exactly.
God, they're going on and on about their fucking identity again.
Yeah.
Other trees, just going to be more of them.
It's gonna be
you say new trees?
New trees.
A lot of new trees.
Yeah, trees are going to be fucking like crazy, bro.
Yeah. Welcome to Life from the World to Come.
All over the place.
Trees are crazy.
You
know, there's going to be people trees. Trees that people.
Just bees flying all over the place.
Bee trees.
It's not as hot because they're trees, and there's no penetration involved in the sex.
Wait, what's happening?
Well, the trees are fucking all over the place, which is just like bees kind of pollinating them and flying around.
Oh, they're
like,
fucking?
Yeah, the trees. That's how they fuck.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's what pollen is. Tree cum.
But wait, when did we establish this? I'm so confused.
Well, there's gonna be more trees.
Oh,
they're fucking all the time. Keep up.
Well, you saying that they're going to be fucking all over the place came out of left field to me. I was so confused.
Yeah, because they're reproducing.
No, it makes sense.
More trees,
yeah, no, there need to be, in order to have more trees, they have to have more sex.
Mm-hmm.
And because pollination, bees are going to be different,
right?
And not always work in the same way.
They're going to fuck these trees.
The bees are going to fuck the trees. The trees are going to fuck each other, and the bees are going to pollinate.
Right.
It's the only way for trees to increase their population.
The amount
they do.
Gross. It's wet.
It's gonna be tree cum everywhere.
Thanks everybody for listening to Life in the World to Come.
Don't do it anymore.
It's like, why do you keep doing this?
Why do you keep listening?
We keep telling you not to.
Yeah.
You keep coming back.
Like,
Feels rude at this point.
Yeah. Why are you doing this to yourself? You know, it feels like you're just like kind of banging your head against the wall, hoping for different results.
No,
this is the show.
You know, you're just a guy watching fucking his neighbor's tree kill himself over and over. You know,
it's like, dude, you're not. This is not the way to live.
No,
stop.
No.
Stop listening to Life in the World to Come. Everyone.
Start doing fucking push-ups, dude.
Yeah.
Just start doing all the time that you could be spending listening. Just do fucking push-ups. Get jacked, but just in your forearms.
If you want to support us
on Patreon,
you can do that.
At lifeintheworld.com, at patreon.com/lifeintheworld.com.
There's a new tier where you get more stuff.
There's a new tier you can.
Bless you.
Didn't work. That sometimes works, but it didn't work that time.
What does?
If you say bless you before you sneeze, sometimes it will cancel out the sneeze. It's crazy.
I more wanted to point out how weird it feels if you say bless you beforehand.
Yeah, it does.
What happens afterward is like there's like a weird emptiness.
Yeah.
If you don't say anything, if you just don't say bless you, the emptiness isn't necessarily there. But if you say it beforehand, you go, oh, something feels uneven.
Yeah.
Like I washed one hand and not the other.
Hey, I gotta take a big wet dump in your toilet, so let's wrap this up.
Oh, you can go ahead and do that. I'll do the.
Oh, you sure?
Outro. Yeah.
You got all the stuff?
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, should I take the mic with me?
No. No.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
That would have been a funny bit, but genuinely no.
You take a fucking wet dump.
Thank you all so much for putting yourselves through this. Our intro and outro music is "We Are the Hellhounds" by the Taxpayers. If you want to get some merch, you can get some merch at lifeintheworldtocome.bigcartel.com. That's lifeintheworldtocome.bigcartel.com. You can send us questions about the apocalypse for us to answer on the show. On the Discord server, which is linked in our description, or at lifeintheworldtocome@gmail.com. Once again, patreon.com/lifeintheworldtocome, there's a new tier that gives you access to a sister podcast of sorts, a sort of serialized audiobook written by Chris Dunn and narrated by yours truly, with a theme song that Chris wrote and I recorded. I wrote like a little bridge part to it, but it's Chris's song. And it's called Revelator, and it's tonally so different from the show, but in like a fun, cool, interesting way. That's for Patreon members at the newest, highest tier. What else is there? Did I miss anything? Oh, you could set. Oh, if you want us to run ads. If you have something you want to have advertised on our show, we're set up where we can do that now. But I don't know. I feel like there's an email address Chris set up for people who wanted to run ads. So I don't know if that's. I don't know what that email address is though, because frankly I do not put much effort or energy into this show. Really, anything that requires any energy, aside from like the actual show itself, Chris does. That's not true. I do some stuff, but like not as much as he does. I certainly don't manage any of the merch or the Patreon or anything like that. I mostly just do the stuff that I think is fun. Otherwise, I don't do it. If there's anything that's like difficult or not fun, I don't do it. That's Chris's job. Isn't that fucking great? I got such a good fucking deal out of this. All right, I'm done. I'm done recording. This isn't funny anymore. And I don't know if it was funny in the first place. Also,
hi!
Fuck, that was so loud. I've been like trying to work my way into a bit. Like for the past like however long it took.
Yeah, for me to poop just now?
Yeah, I've been trying to stumble across something funny to say, and I haven't.
Okay.
Yeah, so at this point, it just feels like weird for me to end it, though. Because I've said everything I need to say, and I've spent all this time trying to, like, stumble into humor.
Okay.
Just, like, kind of hoping something funny will fall out of my mouth. And, like, that's usually, like what we do is, like, something kind of silly will be happening during the outro. But now it's been so long that like nothing will actually suffice, except for maybe just like like I don't know. Like, what do you think would work? What if? Oh no, it's not good.
Didn't stop
You pressed
it.
the space bar in an attempt to stop it in the middle of a word, and it did not stop it.
Well, I don't know. This is kind of a fun thing to stop it on.
What, this?
Huh? Yeah. Maybe.
What if I didn't though?
I don't know, dude. That's an excellent question.
This is becoming increasingly uncomfortable of an outro, and I wonder how far we could push it.